You ever wake up more tired than when you went to sleep? You're grinding 60, 80 hours, hustling for a life that still feels empty. You've done the affirmations. You've begged God to show up. You even skip sleep thinking that would prove you're ready. But here's the punchline. It's not about how much you're doing. It's about who you refuse to stop being. And until you sacrifice that version of you, nothing's going to change. There's a law that runs everything in this universe. It governs bees. It governs billionaires. It governs your life, even if you pretend it doesn't exist. It's called the law of exchange. And it's been buried under self-help fluff, religious slogans, and hustle culture nonsense. Here's how it works. You don't get anything unless you give something up. You breathe in only because you gave breath out. You get love only because you gave trust. You manifest only because you sacrifice. But you've been lied to. They told you manifestation was about mindset. They told you God just hands out blessings like candy at a parade. And while you were journaling and waiting on perfect timing, the world kept turning, not because of belief, but because of exchange. Look around. The rich, they exchange power for privacy. The famous, they sacrifice peace for the spotlight. And you're trying to gain everything while letting go of nothing. And that's why you keep spinning in circles, asking, visualizing, hoping, but never paying. Because this world doesn't care about your potential. It only responds to your payment. And if you're not sacrificing, you're not manifesting. You're hoarding energy, hoping to cheat a system that can't be cheated. You're trying to change your reality without changing yourself. But nothing in nature, nothing in spirit operates that way. Not even God. And here's the dark part no one tells you. If you don't sacrifice willingly, life will do it for you. There's a war going on inside you, but you won't sweat blood. You won't hear bombs. Because this war isn't loud, it's silent, it's psychological. Two identities live inside of you. One was built by survival, programmed by your past, trauma, school, religion, failure. This version of you is obedient, predictable, safe. It worships comfort, it avoids risk, it apologizes for wanting more. The second identity is dangerous, ambitious, loud. It's everything you say you want to be, but secretly fear becoming. And the tragedy? You've been feeding the weak one and starving the powerful one. Every time you overthink, every time you shrink, every time you play nice just to be liked, you're casting a vote for the version of you that's been running your life like a rigged election. And that weak version, he's cooked. But you keep dragging his corpse into the future, hoping it'll somehow become royalty. It won't. You think you're being humble, but what you're really doing is betraying the part of you that was born to rule. Because this world, it doesn't reward potential, it rewards identity. Here's the part no one talks about. You've already sacrificed your confidence, your power, your voice. Every time you avoided speaking your truth to keep the peace, that was a sacrifice. Every time you stayed quiet instead of raising your rates, leaving the relationship, asking for the deal, that was worship to the God of fear. You've already been sacrificing just to the wrong altar. And unless you take control of that process, you'll keep killing the wrong parts of yourself. The most authentic version of you will die quietly while the world claps for how nice and responsible you've become. So here's the uncomfortable truth. You're not stuck because you don't know what to do. You're stuck because you won't betray the version of you that's keeping you stuck. And the longer you delay that betrayal, the more your real life passes you by, while a watered down version of you keeps cashing your soul like a paycheck. you're at war. So pick a side. Let's stop pretending this is about motivation. It's not. This is about murder. If you want to manifest the life you keep daydreaming about, someone has to die. And I don't mean a hater or your toxic ex. I mean someone way closer, way more dangerous. You, the version of you that flinches at risk, that settles to keep the peace, that asks for permission, that tucks ambition under politeness. That version has to go. And here's the twisted part. You love them. They got you through heartbreak, through poverty, through rejection. They built a cage and called it safety. And you believed them. They told you to keep your head down. Be grateful. Don't want too much. Don't speak too loud. Don't love too hard. And now, that voice is still running the show, running your schedule, running your bank account, running your identity. I almost didn't start this channel. Dead serious. I had the idea, wrote the script, deleted it, rewrote it, deleted it again. I told myself it wasn't the right time, that I needed to wait on God, that maybe people wouldn't get it, or worse, that they would. But that wasn't divine timing. That wasn't logic. That was the old me begging to survive, whispering self-doubt in a voice that sounded just like wisdom. And in that moment, I realized something brutal. The voice of your old self doesn't yell. It whispers in your own tone and calls it smart. That's how subtle self-sabotage is. You think you're protecting yourself, but really, you're just feeding the ghost of who you used to be. Here's what no one tells you. You don't outgrow your old identity, you outkill it. Growth is polite. Transformation is violent. It demands grief. It demands detachment. It demands betrayal. You have to look your past self in the eyes and say, thank you, but you're in the way now. That version of you that avoids conflict, hides their gift, overthinks every step, that version has been running the kingdom like a peasant. Kill the king, crown the god, because there is no next level you without a funeral for the current one. You think people like Jay-Z got where they are by holding on to who they used to be? Nah. He didn't just change industries, he changed identities, from hustler to mogul to immortal. Same goes for you. You don't get to keep the insecurities and claim the throne. You don't get to keep playing broke and manifest abundance. You don't get to stay emotionally 16 and call yourself a leader. That's not how this works. Let's stop sugarcoating it. You want to level up your life? You want to shift your reality? Cool. Then it's time to get surgical. Not spiritual, surgical. Because sacrifice isn't some poetic surrender. It's a hit job. You're not just letting go. You're planning an execution. Let's break it down. Step 1. Clarify what you actually want. Most of y'all aren't stuck because you're lost. You're stuck because you're vague. You keep saying, I just want to be successful. What does that even mean? Success to who? Your mom? Your pastor? Your ex? Be honest. Here's the truth. If your subconscious doesn't have a clear GPS, it'll keep rerouting you back to survival mode. You ever driven with a glitchy GPS? That's your life right now. Set the coordinates, lock in the vision, and don't leave room for maybe. You can't manifest something you won't admit you want, so go ahead. Say it out loud, even if it sounds cocky, even if it scares the shit out of you. That's how you know it's real. Step 2, build your future identity like a blueprint. Look, I remember when I didn't know who I was becoming. I had the goals, the vision board, but no operating system. I'd say I was manifesting, but the real me was just winging it. Here's what changed everything. I asked myself, if I had the life I wanted already, Who would I be? How would I talk? How would I carry myself when I walk into a room? How would I react when things go sideways? That's when I wrote down 5 traits, and not soft ones like kind and grateful. Nah, I picked traits that scared the old me. Unshakable, relentless, magnetic, director, dangerous. And every day I started showing up like him. Before the money came, before the wins, I became the blueprint. Your outer reality has no choice but to match your internal structure. So build it. Step 3, starve the old self. Don't negotiate with it. Let's be real. Let's keep it funky. You're not losing because life is unfair. You're losing because you keep feeding the enemy. That enemy, it lives inside you. It tells you, start next week. It tells you, you're tired. It tells you, you're being too much. And the worst part, it sounds just like you. Same voice, same logic. But that's not you. That's the ghost of who you used to be. So from now on, you starve it. No energy, no reaction, no justifying your standards, no explaining your glow up. Every time you say yes to your next level, you're choking the oxygen out of your old one. And yeah, it's gonna scream, it's gonna beg, it's gonna gaslight you, but don't flinch. Because the moment you feed it again, you're cooked. Step 4, confirm the new you every single day. Here's something most coaches won't tell you. Your brain doesn't believe what you say. It believes what you prove. You held eye contact with your boss today. You didn't text back the person who only hits you up at night. You spoke your truth when your voice shook. Write that shit down. Those are receipts, evidence, sacrifices on the altar of the new you. Because this isn't just about healing. This is about building your case for rebirth. The court of your nervous system is watching, and every bold action is a testimony that you're not who you used to be. And when your body finally believes it, reality bends. You really about this life? Cool. Here's your test. Pick one thing the old you would do today, and don't do it. Don't pick up the phone. Don't scroll when you're anxious. Don't break your boundary when it gets lonely. Sit in the silence. Feel the withdrawal. Let the ego freak out. Then come back tomorrow and tell me which version of you survived. You don't need more time. You don't need another book. You don't need another YouTube video. You need a funeral, a ritual, a daily sacrifice of the self that kept you average. And every time that old version knocks, you remind it who runs this now. You, focused, unapologetic, unavailable for anything less than alignment. So the next time fear shows up talking slick, the next time doubt tries to sell you comfort, tell it. You had your chance. Now, you're cooked. They told you success takes time, that you have to pay your dues, climb the ladder, stay patient, be humble. But here's the lie they never corrected. Time doesn't change you. Sacrifice does. And the longer you wait to kill what no longer fits, the more your future becomes a museum of missed moments. This world isn't run by the smartest or the most talented. It's run by the ones who had the guts to sacrifice before it was convenient. You've watched people blow up who had half your gifts. You've seen mediocrity go viral. You've sat back and told yourself, they just got lucky. Maybe they did. But you're not waiting for luck. You're weaponizing identity. You're sharpening belief like a blade. Because the real shift doesn't happen when you start. It happens when you finally stop negotiating with who you used to be. So this is it. The moment where the old version of you begs for one more day, one more excuse, one more round of, I'm figuring it out. Don't take the bait. Don't fall for it. Don't get fleeced by the fear of your own power, because the you that's coming, the one who leads, speaks with fire, walks in silence, turns heads without trying. That version isn't waiting. And the only thing left to do, step into the fire and don't look back.